7 News is proud to be a part of the AIDS Ride again this year. It is our 4th year of raising money and riding along with some very special people who are doing what they can to fight the deadly disease. More than 140 cyclists are wrapping up the first day of the Act 3 AIDS Ride, including our own weekend anchor, Mitch Weber. The riders started their journey this morning at 8 and the day ends in Baraboo. The route today is a little more than 70 miles, 76 miles, Mitch tells me. 27 News anchor Mitch Weber is live from one of the pit stops near Baraboo. And Mitch, the AIDS Network is celebrating 20 years of service in South Central Wisconsin. And one ACT rider is also celebrating not 20 years, but 20 AIDS rides.
Yeah, we figured out that she has traveled more than 6,000 miles on her bike in 9 years. And if the 20th ride isn't special enough, this year she's not riding alone.
My first ride was in 1997, and it was quite an experience. It was, I guess you might say a life-changing experience.
Carol Samuels is an avid bicyclist.
It was in the 90s.
But she didn't always ride for a reason.
AIDS was something that I thought didn't really affect me.
Those thoughts changed forever in 1994. When Carol's college roommate died of AIDS, a blood transfusion in the early 80s that she later passed on to her children.
Finding out that she had passed away from AIDS was really quite a shock to me, and I think within a week or two I called AIDS Network and said I wanted to be a volunteer.
While volunteering, Carol learned about an AIDS ride from the Twin Cities to Chicago that raised money for people living with the disease.
And it sort of started my career as an AIDS rider too. So.
Carol didn't stop with one AIDS ride.
The most I did was 5 rides in 1 year.
In 1997, 500 miles from the Twin Cities to Chicago. The next 2 years, the same route. Then, in 2000, 5 rides from the west to the Midwest to even the East Coast.
My son Julian and daughter Alicia came with me to the Boston to New York ride, and they were on the crew, which was really made it kind of a family thing.
5 years later, after riding more than 6,000 miles all over the United States for AIDS, Carol's 20th ride is her son's first.
Yeah, now Julian's joining me this year, which is great. He's going to ride.
What better way to get involved than to follow in the footsteps of someone who's done it so many times before.
Last year, Julian did his own ride from Yorktown, Virginia to Florence, Oregon. It took 2.5 months through 10 states.
Well, now I know that you can ride, so you have no excuses to sign up for the AIDS ride.
Julian believes he is a reflection of his mom's determination and dedication.
I think that this year when I'm sweating with her and climbing up hills in the hot weather, then I'll definitely appreciate completely what her experience has been.
Now it's her son learning there's more than one reason to ride, bringing this family full circle.
We always say that we wish that people could live in the world the way people live on this ride.
I also found out today on Julian's trek last year, he changed his first flat tire, which he actually had to call his mom, and it still took 2.5 hours for him to figure out how to fix that flat tire. Krista?
All right, Mitch, really quickly, what was the biggest challenge today? The headwinds, the sun, what was...
The headwinds and actually getting into Devil's Lake, but the biggest challenge is still yet to come. These last 8 miles, we're leaving Devil's Lake. If you've ever been up to Devil's Lake, there's a lot of hills, so these last 8 miles are not going to be easy for any of these riders.
All right, thanks, Mitch.